We're human beings. We are going to eat to stay alive. If we don't have the food that we know we need ready to go, we're gonna find an alternative. All right, we are back in the team room, and today we are going to talk about nutrition. I say this before most of these videos, I'm not a nutritionist, I'm not a dietitian. This advice comes from, at this point, 25 plus years of working with strength coaches, dietitians, nutritionists. So I challenge you and I advise to use this as a resource, not necessarily the resource. Do your own homework, learn for yourself, just to provide some guidance from my own experience and some practices that I employ myself today. So this is going to be targeted really around a word, to at least to kick this off, and that's the word diet. I hear this constantly, and I'm asked this question constantly. I'm looking to go on a diet. What do you recommend for a diet? I think the second you start using that word, you're setting yourself up for failure. Because people go on a diet the same way they go on a date, or the same way they go on a roller coaster. They go on it, and then inevitably they come off it. It's this short-term blip in time that may or may not produce some results, but it's unsustainable long-term. And then in that point, what's it matter? So rather than using the word diet, I recommend using nutrition, right? Or adopting a nutritional program. And again, there's a lot of power in the language that we use. Words mean things. It's extraordinarily important that we dial that in and be very deliberate about that. A nutritional program. And by just merely saying it that way, we're talking about adopting a lifestyle, a way of living, a way of eating, a way of fueling our bodies. The key behind a nutrition program is an understanding of nutrition. So it begins with research. It begins with knowledge acquisition, which does not require a dietitian and nutritionist. Those assets and those resources are great, but in today's world, it's unnecessary. You can more than easily learn about quality nutrition in about an hour on the internet. So there's no excuse to, I don't know how to eat right. I don't know what a healthy food choice looks like. Adopting a nutritional program based off of research, with the goal being, this is the way I'm going to live long term. Now, knowing that, things are going to change. Things are going to change. Variables in our life are going to change. Goals are going to change. The key to establishing a nutritional program is gaining just enough knowledge to get the ball rolling. Do not get stuck in this paralysis by analysis or start justifying to ourselves that I just don't quite know enough yet. I need to read one more book. I need to watch 10 more videos. Stop. Stop. You are lying to yourself. Spend an hour. Get a baseline understanding of how to eat healthy foods. Put that together into a program, into a way of living day to day, and then begin executing. It's critical. It is not going to be perfect. In fact, it is never going to be perfect. Nutrition has been a huge part of my life now for over 2 decades, and I still don't have it perfect. I will never have it perfect. So the ball's now rolling. We're executing. We're living our lifestyle with nutritional foods that are in our best interest. Tracking what we're doing, critical. Now you can take this super granular down to the gram of protein, gram of carbohydrates, your macronutrient profile, your calories, or you can start off a little more broad. I'm gonna eat some chicken, some rice, some vegetables. I'm gonna eat some eggs. And that's as detailed as it gets. But tracking what that looks like is important because, again, it's gonna change. You're going to need to modify it. And without having that baseline of understanding of what we're doing, it's really difficult to modify. So we're tracking, we're learning, We're seeing the results, both good and bad. Stick to the plan, regardless of what it is. People ask, how long do I stick to it before I start making changes? I'd say no less than 90 days. Feels good to me, solid number. 3 months, run it as is, collect your data, and then at that point, if you realize, I'm not losing enough stored body fat, I'm not gaining as much muscle as I may want, and you zeroed in that your nutrition program has gaps in it, or at least that's an area in which you want to improve upon, here's the key. 1 or maybe 2 variable changes at a time. Do not throw away the kitchen sink. Do not throw away the baby with the bathwater, because chances are there are things that you are currently doing now that are benefiting. So one or 2 small incremental variable changes, make those adjustments, repeat the system again. 90 days, 120 days, whatever it is we're doing. Repeat, track, learn, research, 1 or 2 adjustments, repeat. This becomes, again, our lifestyle, a way of living healthy and continuously making progress long term. Some other verbiage we're gonna clean up. For me personally, I don't enjoy the word meal. And there's a reason behind that, is because I can't stand the word snack. The word snack, to me, I'm thinking chips, maybe some cookies, a granola bar, a protein bar even. So by eliminating meals, we eliminate snacks and replacing that verbiage with fuel intake, right? How many times a day are you intaking fuel? Just that one verbiage switch, we're now replacing food with fuel. And the second we can start looking at food through that lens as fuel to fuel our body, to provide us with the energy we need to do the things we want to do the things we need to do, and look the way we want to look. Fuel intake. So how many times are you intaking fuel a day based off of your nutritional program? Lastly, in my opinion, for the overwhelming majority of those out there, this lifestyle is impossible without preparation. Meal prep is a term most people have heard at this point. And it means exactly what it sounds like it means. Preparing our meals, preparing our food, preparing our fuel in advance so it's ready to go when we need it. We're human beings. We are going to eat to stay alive. If we don't have the food that we know we need ready to go, we're gonna find an alternative. Preparation is critical, all right? The way that I go about doing this is I cook twice a week. I cook on Wednesday evenings, I cook on Sunday evenings. That way I have my food for 3 or 4 days, ready to go in the fridge, done. Cook it up, it takes me about an hour, maybe 90 minutes, depending on how creative I get with how I prepare the food. And then it's ready to go. You can certainly, and there are times I've done this where I just meal prep once for the entire week. Sundays at one point, that was my meal prep day. I cooked for all 7 days. Absolutely works. Depending on the kinds of foods, it can get a little funky on day 7. Certainly not bad enough, more than likely to cause you any kind of harm. I just prefer the twice a week system. The food's just a little fresher. If you're struggling with meal prep, perhaps 1 day a week is the way to go. Let's say you freeze half of them, take them out of the fridge on day 3, let them thaw out. This is all very simple ways to create a system that is sustainable. We're creating habits that are built within a system so that we can just do it almost on autopilot once we've earned the right, once we've earned the position where this stuff just starts happening. Lastly, we need to get to a position where our cooler, our lunchbox, our pail, to use an old school term, is just as important to us as our keys, our wallet, and our phone. In today, right now, if you left your house without your phone, the second you realized it, it's gonna be, Ugh, no, I left my phone at home. It's a disaster has happened. It's almost impossible to function in life now without that piece of technology attached to you at all times. The sooner we can get ourselves into a position where we look at our food within that receptacle with the same level of value and importance as those other 3 items, we're in a great position. You get to a place where you become uncomfortable if you leave your home without that. That's ultimately the goal. Diet is gone, nutrition is coming in, and we're gonna create long-term, sustainable systems so we can maintain our nutrition program and adopt a nutritional lifestyle. Let's go.